not going to believe this. Found it. How good's that? Scumbags, eh?
Yeah, I've had a rough couple of days. This might help a little bit.
Cheers, mate.
Good recovery effort.
Tell us what happened.
My car got stolen. On Saturday night, I woke up, my phone beeped.
Yep.
And it was Commonwealth Bank, $2,900 on Etsy. That woke me up, and I looked at it and I cancelled the transaction on my app. And then my dog was hassling me to go to the toilet. So I took him out the front, down the front steps, walked out the front and like half asleep, sort of looked out there and I'm like, my car should be right there. My car is definitely not here.
Yeah, it hasn't become invisible all of a sudden.
Yeah, but it's like, it takes you a while to, you're like, did I move it? And I pretty quickly went, no, it was definitely there. In Cairns, really common thing is kids break into your house, steal your car keys and drive your car away, right?
Joyride. They just go joyriding.
Exactly. So I went straight into the kitchen, checked, my keys were still there. And then my second set of keys, I went and they were in the top. I was like, okay, I've got both sets of keys. What the hell's going on? Now I'm like, okay, well, it's gone. I need to call the police. Rang the police pretty quick, straight through to them, reported it stolen. Obviously they're like, any distinguishing features of the car? I'm like, yeah.
Pretty obvious.
Pretty obvious.
Yeah.
He said, have you got any tracking device in it? I'm like, actually I do. So I opened the app and I had the AirTag and I could see where it last was, but that was at 10:30 that night. It hadn't been tracked for probably 3.5 hours at that point. So then the cop said they'd probably just pull the battery out. I then spent the rest of the night refreshing that app, hoping that it would pop up somewhere, and it didn't. And I actually didn't go back to sleep that night.
Yep.
And then I was like, well, now it's daylight. I'm just going to go drive around, look for my car. And I just drove around all Cairns, the industrial estate, thinking it might be dumped somewhere. I made a post on social media.
Yeah, I saw the post when I woke up Sunday morning.
Yeah.
And I woke up to my phone beeping about all the people commenting on True North Adventures post.
Yeah, and that post over the day went insane. And a couple of updates of people seeing it. So as people said, oh, we saw it in the industrial estate, I'd drive down there and have a look around in case it's been dumped.
Yeah.
Someone said they might have seen it on the way up to Mareeba.
Yep.
So I drove up to Mareeba and went down all the little side roads, down the bush roads, thinking it might be
just
there.
hoping to find it on the side of the road.
Just hoping that someone had just joyride it, ran out of fuel and dumped it.
Yep.
But never found it.
The AirTag that you had in it, it told you at 10:30 at night where the car was.
Yeah.
But then how does it work? How does the AirTag work?
So the AirTag just uses other iPhones to ping its location. About that big.
50-cent coins.
About a quarter for our American viewers. The AirTag uses other phones to ping its location. So there were obviously no other phones around it, or the battery had been taken out and we didn't know which one.
Yeah.
So it disappeared, but the whole next day didn't show up. All through the next night. That next night I pretty much gave up. Thanked everyone on social media. The car's gone.
So I went to bed Sunday night. When I went to bed, I was like, sweet, Steve's full from grace. The big Ranger will take center stage on the next couple of trips.
It would have, yeah.
And honestly, like, to move you to the side is probably just a good thing all around.
Police asked me if I had any suspects, and you were the #1 suspect.
You can imagine my disappointment Monday morning when I wake up. I'm happy. I know my life, the trajectory is going up, and I get a call from you saying you found the car.
How? I hid that so well.
Yeah.
So the next morning, I went to bed that night. I'd given up hope. Woke up the next morning and Danielle, my wife, said, your phone just beeped. The AirTag has been found again.
Yeah.
And I opened the app, hoping there was a decent location. And it was about 10 minutes from my house in Cairns industrial area.
So, 6:30 in the morning on Monday. So we lost the car on Saturday night, and the AirTag that's in my car has just gone off. It was actually in this intersection for the last sort of 24 hours. So yeah, hopefully it's there. I mean, hopefully it's not just the AirTag on the ground or something like that. But fingers crossed.
Yeah, and what did you think you're actually going to find though?
I expected to find it just ditched in the gutter.
The car or the tag?
The car. Then when I got there, I drove to the end of this cul-de-sac, no car. Now I've just pulled up in this street and it's saying it's here, and the only thing in the round is sheds. I seriously reckon it's in one of these sheds. Which fucking shed? I thought, okay, someone's just thrown the AirTag out the window. It didn't update. It was sort of just saying it was right in the middle of the road of this cul-de-sac. I went around and spoke to a few of the sheds there and said, have you seen my car this morning? And one guy, he said, mate, I've been here all weekend. You know, I haven't seen it come up and down here. He suggested if I was going to find it anywhere, it could potentially be in a shed that was nearby, which I thought was strange that everyone in the street knew about the shed. So I drove past that shed and sure enough, parked right up the back, you know, sort of couple of cars parked around it.
I'm not going to believe this. I fucking found it. Have a go at this. There it is. Canopy door busted open.
What I could see, I couldn't really see the car. You could sort of see the silver guard, a bit of the bonnet, but mostly the rooftop tent.
Yeah, and the awning. Yep.
And straight away, dead giveaway.
And it was about 80 metres back from the front.
Yeah.
Parked behind and between a couple of other cars.
Yeah.
But fortunately, it was big enough
Yeah.
and obvious enough that you could actually see what it was.
Yeah. So straight away, I called the police as soon as I saw it.
Yep.
And they came straight down, 10 minutes, 15 minutes.
Yep.
And waited there with me. They went through the whole process of getting warrants to get into the property to get the car so they could do it properly. They've just spent probably an hour there with the police. They want to go through everything correctly so that they can get them for everything. You know, they reckon that there'll be more stolen cars in there. Pretty awesome outcome. They've done a bit of damage to it, bent the canopy and whatever, but we got it back. It turned out to be a pretty interesting thing. There are a lot of police down there, a lot of forensics officers. They found other cars with wrong number plates, stolen cars, all sorts of stuff. So it sounds like it was more than just
your car.
One car, correct?
Yeah.
Well, we really want to thank everyone for all the shares, support, everything from over the weekend. It's just been massive. When I got here first this morning, I walked down the street there and chatted to a few fellas, and every single one of them said, "Oh yeah, we saw your car online stolen." So everyone's been looking for it. Yeah, it really is. I reckon I've usually hear people say, "Oh, the four-wheel drive community." I think it's a bit of a bullshit thing, but to see how many people shared it, how many brands shared it, is just incredible. It was really humbling to see how much support we had. So thanks heaps, guys. Yeah, a lot of us finding it is down to you. Yeah, thanks heaps.
My plan was so close.
First thing I checked when I opened the canopy was I knew I had a 6-pack of Coral Seas in there, and they've taken them. And I went fishing with some mates, and they had Nylon Yarrows in my fridge, and they didn't even steal the Nylon Yarrows. They're like, mate, they're just shit, Coral Sea or die.